Well, it is time to check in with Keith Bilbrey to see what kinds of questions that you have been leaving for me in the comments and in our My 2 Cents at TBN.TV mailbox. Keith, I know you look forward to this because you always have some doozies for me, so I'm sure you got some tonight.
Well, I like the way this guy starts out the letter. Rod Storch from Sutton, West Virginia. Good golly, Gov! Is the RNC really going to continue letting social media platforms censor anything remotely conservative? Surely there are deplorable geeks that could set up an RNC-owned social media platform to rival anything that exists now. With potentially 75 million deplorable customers, it would sure put a hurt on the left-wing nuts' income. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, you know, there's no doubt that we certainly have a bunch of deplorable geeks among us. There's no doubt. Now, the question is, how hard would it be to set up social media platforms that would be open and honest? Quite frankly, I don't care if they're uniquely conservative. I'd just like for them to believe in free speech. I don't even want to be on a platform that only echoes the views that I have. I like to hear what other people are thinking. Believe me, when I'm on Twitter, I hear a lot of stuff that people say to me, and it's not nice, but that's okay. Free speech is a good thing. It's what our country's built on. The problem is having enough money to start something that has the capacity to rival a Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or any of the social media platforms that are run by these Silicon Valley companies. Now, there is talk, I don't know how true it is, but there is talk that there are some conservative billionaires, with a B, because millionaires ain't going to cut it, that might be putting something like that together. And I hope they're successful. But in saying they're successful, I believe they're only successful if they open up their platforms and let people with a wide range of views participate and communicate. That's healthy for us. The best thing in a free society is letting people say things that are offensive to me, so I'll just know how crazy the other folks are. That's what I find out that way, right?
Well, James Spalding from Wyoming. I'm a registered Republican, but why did you claim millions of jobs would be lost due to the halting of the XL pipeline? And why did you allow, without questioning, the governor of South Dakota to claim that her state has done very well with COVID-19 when her state actually has the second worst cases per capita and the 7th worst deaths per capita?
Actually, I think South Dakota, they've actually done pretty well, and they let people make their own decisions. Here's the point. In America, we're supposed to be free. We're supposed to be adults. Now, I've worn a mask. We have truly lived protocols here in our theater and on our show. I've done everything I know to do to protect myself and the people around me from COVID-19. But ultimately, I don't want the government telling me that I cannot go to church, but I could go to a strip club. Never been to a strip club, but I've been to church a lot. And I don't want them telling me that I'm safe in a big box discount store, but I'm not safe in a mom and pop run store where the only people in it are me and the man and wife who own the store. There's some things that I really appreciate Governor Noem for, and one of them is she trusted the people of her state. She gave them the information, told them what would be ideal, but let them make their own decisions. Last time I checked, that's kind of what freedom looks like. And I think that people ought to be able to make a lot of the decisions for themselves. Now, I don't know what else to tell you. You said, I made the comment, millions of people lost their jobs. There's a reason I said that. Here it is. Because millions of people lost their jobs when we quit having the XL pipeline. That happens. And by the way, I don't know what you're paying for gas where you are, but check what you're paying now versus what you paid before President Biden suspended the Keystone XL pipeline. If it is not more now than it was then, please tell me where you get your gas, because no matter where it is and how far, I'm driving up to get gas there, because everywhere I've seen in the country, it's probably 50 to 60 cents higher per gallon than it was before. That's why I said that.
Well, Al, the episode on February 13th with the two gentlemen talking about the Woolworth's lunch counter protest was very moving to me, particularly about the African-American gentleman who taught himself about the Republican Party. As an African-American myself, can you suggest any books I can read that will help me learn about the Republican Party?
Well, I think the history of Frederick Douglass would be a good one. Anything that is written by Alveda King would be a great, great book to read. But most of all, what I would suggest you do is just look at the two platforms of the parties, not for racial issues, but just for economic issues. Because I want to remind you that when President Trump was in office, African Americans had the highest level of employment in the history of the country, as did women and Hispanics. The best thing that government can ever do for anybody, I don't care what color they are, the best thing is to get out of the way and let people open businesses and create jobs that pay people good wages so they can feed their families and not have to depend upon what government does for them. And that's something that I just believe is the best thing for anybody, regardless of whether they're white or black, whatever their background or ethnicity is.
Well, Phil Schwartz has a question for you, Governor. I watch your show every week, and I want to thank you for giving us a wholesome, entertaining, and informative alternative to today's talk shows. If Dr. Seuss can be flagged as racist and his books banned, do you think Disney and all its subsidiaries are far behind? Or do you think Disney is safe from the woke mob because their TV networks gave them all the publicity and cover they need? Keep up the good work, Governor. May God bless you.
Well, I wish I could tell you that Disney is not going that direction, but they are. They've already gotten rid of the Aristocats. They're getting rid of, what was it, Gina? What was the last name? You know, the one that was in, not...
The Star Wars, the new Star Wars.
Carano. Yeah, Gina Carano. I know her very well. We're very tight, obviously. But, you know, they've started getting rid of a lot of their own cartoons. Swiss Family Robinson, they're taking off. Only now, if you're an adult, can you watch things like that. I'm just amazed. And here's what I would tell you. I think Walt Disney, God rest his soul, would be livid to find out that the wonderful family-friendly empire that he created has been turned into a left-wing woke culture in which so many things are getting canceled and censored. When we get rid of Dr. Seuss and Disney classic cartoons, we've lost our minds. That's my thought. Hey, if you have one, you can be sure to leave your questions, maybe your comments. You can even leave your anger. You can put it in the comments below, or you can send them to my2cents@tbn.tv. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, you ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.